Hi dreamers, it's Bex here from True Nature Dreams. So this is going to be a video tutorial to get you familiar with and show you how to use Fluid Engine. Fluid Engine is the new editor from Squarespace. So basically, if you're Squarespace already and you might be looking to upgrade to Fluid Engine and just be like panicking a little bit about what's Fluid Engine all about, I'm going to walk you through and make it super simple. And if you've never used Squarespace before, then this is also step by step to kind of get you familiar with how to work it, how to make edits on your site and how to design things. So maybe pour yourself a warm drink, get into your yoga comfies, and we'll get started. I'm going to show you my screen, so come with me.
So I wanted to start with my own website because I'm in a hybrid state, which you might find yourself in, where I was on 7.1, Squarespace version 7.1, and then Fluid Engine was released in July of 2022. So I was like, oh, do I upgrade or do I stick with what I have? And I was a little bit nervous to make any changes in case I didn't know how to use it. And yeah, it was a bit scary to start with. So you might be in that situation. And I want to just show you. So my website at the moment, if I go into edit mode, you'll see as I scroll down, this is Fluid Engine when I edit it. So I've updated and upgraded certain sections of my website, and then certain sections are in the old classic editor, so 7.1. So you'll see in the top left, it says upgrade. And if you click on upgrade, it will allow you to upgrade that specific section to Fluid Engine. Now, once you've upgraded, you can't revert back to Classic Editor. So just to bear that in mind, is not reversible. So when you click on upgrade, now I'm on Squarespace Fluid Engine, it's not possible to go back to the classic editor. So I'm going to discard the changes so I can maintain it as the classic editor for now, so that you can sort of see the differences between the two styles of editors. So this is the classic editor that you may be more familiar with, 7.1, where we had things like spacer blocks. So you can see here, this is a spacer block. And just like the way things were laid out, when you move them around, it was a little bit clunky, because if you move this image down here, for example, it's going to throw out the layout. So Fluid Engine is designed to be much more of a drag and drop platform. So I'm going to go into a test site now to sort of show you how that looks and how to actually edit in Squarespace Editor. So here you can see I've set up a test page. So I've created a blank canvas for us to begin with, so we can experiment and play around in Fluid Engine. So let's go into edit and have a little look around. First thing you'll see is that there's no insert points, which we used to have in the old version of Squarespace. Now you click on the left-hand corner, the top corner where it says add a block, and you've got a list of all the things that you might want to add onto your page. So let's go ahead and add an image to begin with. Click onto the plus icon, select from a library, and we'll just add in a picture here first of all, just as a demonstration. So you can resize it, and what happens is, and this is like a major difference, this is like the drag and drop functionality. You can pick up the edge of the frame and you can stretch it to wherever you would like it to be, and you can see that it's working on this like grid system. So when I move things side to side, it's snapping to this grid. Now, each individual block that you might add has its own design capabilities and functionality. So when you click on the pencil icon, you'll see in design, each individual product, whether it be a text block, an image block, whatever the block that you're working with, it will have its own design capabilities. So have a little look in the design panels, and that each will be different. So for example, you can fill the space, you could create the image as a shape, and you can kind of play around. So obviously they're all going to be different according to what block you're working with. So we're currently working with this image block, so there's different things that can be done within it. You can change the corner radius, for example. So the text obviously is going to look different, the text block, when we come to work in that. But you can see, like, I'm just changing, making it like rounded corners. There's going to be different functionality for each one. So let's just take this corner radius is off. Okay, so I've got this image here. I'm going to add another image to show you how you can now overlay, which you couldn't do before. So this is really nice little feature. So let's add this image over the top. Okay, and I'm going to go again into design, fill the space, and then you can play around with moving. So maybe you might want to make that into, say, a different shape, for example. You might pick something like that. So you can have a play around with overlaying things. And then what you can do is when you click onto the image, you'll see here it says move backwards. So you can play around with what's at the front in the foreground and what's in the background. So again, you can add blocks and you can add text. So let's add in just a word here. And then you can see that we can pick it up and move it wherever we want and have this lovely overlap thing. And you've got your usual kind of suspects of bold, italicizing. You can change the color. So maybe we do something like this. So you can play around it. It's got lots more possibilities from the design perspective, which is really exciting. Now, one thing to say is when I was exploring Fluid Engine and I was like, okay, great, it looks fab on my desktop, really happy with it. I then clicked on the mobile view and this happened. And I cried and I was like, oh no, this is a disaster. But it's not. Basically, what you have to do is then just redesign it on mobile view, which it gives loads more flexibility. You couldn't do this before. It was quite limited in terms of you had to make sort of design compromises for mobile. So, you know, you can kind of get things how you want them to be in mobile view. Maybe you want this further down. And then one thing to just kind of point out, let me move this image down here a little bit, just kind of playing around with the layouts. One thing to say is you can see below here, you've got quite a lot of, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me delete that bit. You can see they've got quite a lot of white space. So it might be, can you see, I can scroll up or scroll down to kind of create the height of the section. So you do need to go ahead and change it in mobile view as well. And also let me take you back into desktop view and show you one final thing. Just this is a very basic kind of whistle stop tour. In the section, you can change the height again. You can look at the alignment. And you can also change the gap of the grid. So you can snap it so that it's tighter. Can you see what happened there? Is everything kind of condensed a little bit. And also to note, which is again a really nice feature, you couldn't do this before, is that you can actually take the image right to the edge of the page. You couldn't do that before. You had to have this like inset border. So you can kind of play around with taking things, what we call full bleed in design land, to the edge of the page, which looks really nice too. You can add an image to the background of the section as you would on the old site. So let's put something like this in the background to show you what that would look like. So there's loads of different options from a design perspective. It's really exciting. It's way better than the old version. But it just takes a little bit of time to get familiar with it and get confident with it. So let me save this and you'll see the section will update with the background image. Hopefully that loads up. Hasn't done it. Let me just see if it's taking a little moment. The internet might be slow. Let's see. Let's add it back in. So it's just showing you the background image for the section, updating that. Now this is a section just beneath the header, so it's going to take it full bleed on the page. So there you go. You can see. Let's change that maybe to something a bit darker so you can see how we can build things up from a design point of view. I'm going to leave it there. That's just a very quick whistle-stop tour of Fluid Engine to show you how you move around the page, how to overlap, and how to set things up on mobile view. So good luck. If you've got any questions at all, I'm sure things will crop up. Be sure to reach out. I'm always here and very happy to give you a personalized tutorial. I offer one-to-one services. So if you want to do like a power hour where we get together, and I can step you through something that's specific to your site.